Now, it's too early to say if this shift in government policy will help boost confidence in the property market. Tracey Chang asked industry experts about their take on the future of property.
China's new home prices grew at a slower pace in April compared to the month before, prompting the easing of property restrictions in some of the country's major cities. As one of the most watched economic indicators of the country, April's housing data showed moderation in China's housing market. The numbers came amid chatters about a possible housing slump or even a burst of the property bubble. But real estate experts say the recent numbers are not a cause for concern.
I would say it's hitting the government's target of cooling down the residential market. And we'll see this trend maybe continue to go on. But what the government tried to avoid is a hard landing. So far, we haven't seen much of signals of a hard landing.
Policymakers are already taking precaution to avoid a sudden drop in housing prices. But the effect of these measures have yet been realized. The Chinese government is no stranger to regulating the country's property sector, as many purchasing restrictions were implemented over the last decade. But this time around, decision makers are taking a different approach.
Our current government is using different methods to regulate the housing market compared to the previous administration. We are not going to see a massive stimulus to lift the housing market like we saw back in 2008. This government wants to do reforms and implement structural changes to regulate the housing market.
Home buyers put their planned purchases on hold as they wait for clearer policy directions.
We're already seeing the central bank sending clear signals to ease housing market liquidity. So in the short term, we're seeing some price fluctuations, but I think policymakers will tweak some policies, and they're ready to appropriately roll out measures to stabilize the housing market.
China's real estate market is indeed showing signs of cooling down, and most industry experts expect the government to issue more policies in the near future to stabilize the country's property sector. Tracey Chang, CCTV.